Hi, I am Lindsay Van Niekerk, the little missionary girl, all grown up, and this is my first vlog. I'm very excited about it because I have been blogging for over 2 years and have been a little intimidated to do a video blog post, but now I am trying here. And if you're joining me today, we are right smack in the middle of 31 days of story. And I have this story that I like to tell, and I just didn't think I could do justice to it by writing it. And so I wanted to share that with you today. If you are coming over here for the first time, I am a missionary kid, all grown up. I was born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. This year, my parents celebrate 40 years in Haiti. They went when they were 19 and 20, and I was born there 6 years after they moved. So, yeah, that is kind of where I started and kind of where this story comes from. We had been traveling back and forth, like I said, from the time I was born. And when I was about 3, my mom got pregnant with my sister, and we spent quite a bit of time in the US and probably about 6 months, which doesn't sound like a lot of time, except when you're 3, as you guys know, from children, especially toddlers. 6 months might as well be like 6 years. So when I went back to Haiti, I was like really kind of like, what's going on, Mom? And why are people cooking outside? And why are some people black and some people white? And I kept asking her questions. I was just really very traumatized and overwhelmed by all of the changes, and I didn't understand why we had to leave my grandmother. And my grandmother tells a story of how I would hold her hand in the airport as we were walking to the gate, and I would just drag my feet, and I'd say, "I don't want to go, Granny, I don't want to go." And my grandmother would say to my mom, "Bev, she doesn't want to go." And my mom would say, "Mom, she has to go. This is where God's called us." And that kind of started probably from about 3.5, 4 years old. This cycle of just sadness and that pulling and that tearing that I would feel every time we would have to leave. But as I shared in my post yesterday, when I turned about 12, 13, in that weird, awkward phase where everything's changing and you're kind of in that like middle school, junior high, transition to adolescence phase, it really became difficult. And I just really struggled. And by the time I was about 14, close to 15, I had really connected with a youth group from the hometown that my parents are from. And that's where we would always visit, where all of the rest of my family lives. And in the summer times, I would spend time there and go on all the trips. And at Christmas, I would come home and I would go on ski trips. And so I was really starting to get connected. And I was really heartbroken every time I had to leave my friends because, as you know, for a young person, like your peer group is like the top. And so I just thought I didn't fit in Haiti like I had previously as a child because of socioeconomic differences. It made such a huge difference in how I related to the people around me and how they related to me. And so it was really hard. And so we were on one of our trips back, and I was lamenting my angst and sorrow, and I was always very quiet about it initially until we got to Haiti, and then I would have my very Anne of Green Gable-esque moments. My mother and my sister loved to reminisce about those. But this particular incident, we hadn't gotten home yet. We were just in the airport, and we're doing the crazy customs and baggage. And if you have ever been in a third world country airport, you can definitely appreciate where I'm coming from with this story. If you have not, we'll try to set up the scene for you. It was about 16 to 20 years ago that this story is being told. So the airport has changed quite a bit in Haiti, but at the time, think a concrete building with open air because there is no air conditioning, so it's open air windows. So the concrete is built with like these little decorative holes, that are like windows. So everything's open on the outside, so the people that are not supposed to be past security can still kind of see in, and there's a lot of holes in the walls to allow air to come through. And it is mass chaos, and people are everywhere, and we learn from a young age, hold on to your belongings and stay close to our parents. Well, we had gotten all of our bags, and we were waiting at the door, and my dad had to go and finalize everything with customs. So he had gone through the mass sea of humanity to the other side of the airport, and my mom and my sister and I are very close to the door at this point, and all of a sudden we hear boom, 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 and gunfire comes out of nowhere. We don't know what's happening, if people are being shot at, if it's being shot in the air. We have no idea what's going on, but all that we know is suddenly there are screams, and people are just, all of a sudden it was like a wave, like literally like a wave that you would see in a big stadium or something, except for the fact that people weren't going up. They were just all going down, and it was like boom, 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 right in a row, and people just hitting the ground. And so you don't know if all these people have gotten shot or what's happening. And so my mom is grabbing my sister and I. Like I said, I was 14, my sister was about 10, and she grabs us and she pushes us behind the suitcases and she says, get down, get down. And me now, with all this teenage angst inside of me, now I've grown up in Haiti, I understand the dangers we've been taught. We know the protection. We've heard gunfire before. This is not the first time, and I know all of these things. I appreciate the environment that we live in. I know all these things, but all of that in that moment went out the window. All I could think about is, why am I here? And so I'm down behind a suitcase, ducked down. My mom, or ducked down, and I look at my mom and I said, I hate this place. I hate this country. I don't know why you're making me be here. Now they're shooting at us. Why are we here? And my mom looks at me and she says, Lindsay, we don't have time for this right now. And she just pushes my head back down again. Needless to say, we were okay. And it was a warning shots that somebody was driving by and shooting in the air quite dramatically with machine gun fire. During a lot of political turmoil that the country was going through at that time, when it was trying to come over into a democracy. And I think back in that time of my life, and I just think too how sometimes, even now, like there are moments where we know what God has for us. We know God's looking out for us, just like my parents were. We know that He's in control. We understand His promises. We understand the pitfalls that we fall into in life, but somehow still we just struggle in those moments where life is just overwhelming and we scream, God, I hate this season. I hate this life. Why are you doing this to me? And we just get so overwhelmed. And I just think back, to that 14-year-old girl who just did not care. She just wanted what she wanted now. And I'm just reminded of how God is so patient, and then like my mom says, right now you just need to be safe, and that God's protecting us and He's taking us through. And sometimes the experiences we have, we don't always understand, but on the other side, we begin to see how that shapes us and develops us into the person that He's called us to be. So I hope you enjoyed this little missionary girl all grown up story, and hopefully this won't be the last vlog, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.